the Rodney King effect. Yeah, allow you to see it with your own eyes. So now you have to make a decision.
Correct.
You have to for what?
Come on.
You got a case?
Yeah.
Where you at?
82 SO, 2 detained.
Now you tell me what you think detained mean. By the way, I went to jail that night.
I told him he was crazy for doing this, and since he caused all this ruckus, he was exercising his rights. I was going to exercise mine.
It is a specific group of people who don't even know what their rights are. And those of us who do know what our rights are, you see how we get treated when we exercise them? Now, what he said was, since I wanted to exercise my rights, he gonna exercise his rights. And what he meant by that was locking me up in a padded cell for nothing. And sneaking, fouling, interfering with public duties without me even knowing about it. Continue to peep the video for yourself.
Yeah, mine's on. What were you saying about a padded room now?
He can go in the padded cell until he decides he wants to talk.
So,
He can just go to jail.
okay.
It's interfering when he doesn't interfering with the duties, I think, when you don't open the car.
You stand right here and watch these guys. This guy's refusing to get out of the vehicle, which is fine. But what I need you to do is just remain right here. You guys don't have to exit. Fine. No. He actually gave me his name and date of birth. He just won't exit the vehicle, which is fine. I mean, fine.
Well, K9 had already alerted. So.
Okay, Ray, listen to me, man, okay? Listen to me, okay? Very, very important, okay? I need you guys to exit the vehicle, okay? The K9 is alerted twice.
Sir, we got a box full of goddamn food in the car.
I understand that, Ray.
I don't feel safe in
Ray.
my vehicle, sir.
Bobby, you good with looking over there?
I didn't see anything. The back is, there's nothing in the back.
I popped everything I can pop in there with a screwdriver. And I can't think of anywhere else.
The back, like I said, there's a couple ashtrays in the back, but I didn't see any remnants or smell anything in the back portion.
So interfering with the duties of a peace officer. So interfering with the duties of a peace officer. So interfering with the duties of a peace officer. Filing work
Well,
all
court.
day long. Filing work
Well,
all
court.
day long. You got, I mean, it's up to you. I'm not telling you to arrest
What?
him, but you got him for interference. You got him for interference, so I mean, it's up to you. I had one and I arrested him. I charged him with the wrong thing. I charged him failed ID, but then, because he threw it down on the ground, that man, so he didn't go to jail. But it was actually interfering, so he went for interfering.
Did he get out whenever you was asking him to get out?
I was talking with him, and he was telling me that his brother or cousin had just had that surgery, and he was completely blind. And he asked me who was going to monitor you after he decided to exit the vehicle. I said, sir, we body cams, in-car cams, there's a lot of officers, things of this nature. And he implied that he didn't want to exit the vehicle. And then he was, as he was recording, he said, I'm exiting the vehicle only under duress. And then as he was getting out, his right hand wasn't visible. That's when we...
So did he open the door to get out?
Yeah, he opened the door.
You had to have 8 officers here to get him out of the car.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not telling you what to do.
I got you. I got you.
Peep the patterns. March the 5th, 2009. I was pulled over in the city of Waco, Texas for speeding. That speeding stop led to an illegal drug search, which was a violation of my 4th and 5th Amendment. After the police officer allowed me to make the phone call, after doing that final search, That concluded the drug search, but I knew nothing about law. So the one officer who looked 3 times, he searched 3 times, he seen nothing. Now all of a sudden this other officer come 1 time and see something. Yes, because that informant who he had talking over there told him where he placed it. Yes, and it got to be on the driver's side. But anyway, 2 years later, I was charged with possession with intent to deliver, where I ultimately ended up going to the penitentiary. Why? Because I didn't have a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer to speak for you, you hear me? You're going to lose. Okay, and that's where it's designed for us to lose. Number 1, we don't have any knowledge of law. And number 2, we don't really have bail money, lawyer money. So by us not being able to bail out of jail, that means you have to sit in there. By you not being able to have a lawyer, you have to get the public defender. And their job is not to free you. No, it is not. Their obligation is to the court. Number 2, peep the patterns. February the 21st, 2018, I was pulled over in the city of Lott for speeding. Once again, that speeding opened the door to other things. Smell marijuana. You know what I'm saying? I need to step out the vehicle. Speeding opened up the door to other things for them to violate your rights. Why? Because they know that you don't know. The only difference is this Lott, Texas stop is I don't have an informant. I had my blind brother off in the vehicle with me. He had just got through getting a throat procedure done at Scott and White Hospital in Temple, Texas. And I was just taking my blind brother home. And I was pulled over in the city of Lott for speeding. Patterns, speeding, which led to an illegal drug search. Only difference is this search right here, they didn't find anything because I don't do anything. But being that I was driving the exact same vehicle, my mother black Jeep, they done the exact same thing to me. It's like it's a specific group of people. We're put in a certain category. And that category leads to us getting treated a certain way. So now they done done this illegal drug search on my mother vehicle again. This time they found nothing. So you ran my name, came back all clear. Driver license, check. No restrictions and eligible. You hear me? I'm not considered dangerous nor hazardous then. They had nothing to charge me with. Because if you got me for speeding, write me my speeding ticket. You done your illegal drug search, you found nothing. Okay, write me my speeding ticket. But they can't just let me go. So the sheriff, Ricky Skateman, what he done was made up a fake charge on me. I haven't been in any trouble since this Lott, Texas stop. Well, Lott, Texas charged me with speeding and failed to display driver's license. Being that the stop was in Lott, Texas, and Chief Hamilton was the one that went and done the paperwork.
All right, I'm on my way to do the paperwork. I gotta get a record.
All I knew was I was being charged with speeding and failed to display driver license, which I demanded a jury trial. My jury trial date was December the 12th, 2018. Tell me why come October the 21st, 2018, I was in Marlin, Texas, passing by Pizza Hut, and a ex-police officer, Officer Caladio, who was standing on them people porch across the street from Pizza Hut with that fence around it. He ran off of their porch, got in his police cruiser, came and got behind me and pulled me over and said, "Ray, we have warrant for your arrest." They took me in. When I got in jail, it took them like 3 hours to tell me that I was in jail for interfering with public duties, which was what Ricky Skateman said, file it and it'll work every time. October the 24th, 2018, I was in the courtroom with Deputy Taylor. Miss Taylor, you remember that day when I was acting up in the courtroom? You probably were thinking to yourself, I've never seen him acting like this before. This is what that was. I knew that I was in court behind a fake fraudulent charge. No one else knew it because I hadn't presented any of this proof yet. But I knew that the original case that I was being charged for, I don't go to trial until December the 12th, Why am I in this fake court? October the 24th. Every time I go to court, I normally have to sign my name on some paper, even though I signed it under UCC-308. If you notice on this paperwork right here, there was nowhere that I even signed anywhere, because it was a fake charge being just filed on a record against me, because they thought that this will never ever be able to be presented the way that I'm allowing y'all to see it now. But this is why I was acting that way, Miss Taylor, is because of these fake charges that was filed on me by Ricky Skaman. Let's continue to ride this video out. The Rodney King effect. That's something that I came up with after watching the video over and over. The difference between the Rodney King beating and all the other beatings before him, the Rodney King beating was recorded. See, that changed the game. Because you have a group of people who have been lied to their entire lives. And the lies begin coming from those who we love the most. Our parents, our loved ones. If you don't be good, Santa Claus ain't gonna get you nothing for Christmas. If your tooth fall out, put it under the pillow. The tooth fairy gonna leave you some money. Come on, kids, let's go Easter egg hunting. The Easter bunny finna leave some chicken eggs, and they gonna be all different colors. Not the correct true color. All different colors. So those lies were fed to us from those we love the most. And then as we begin to leave from the love side over into the trust side, because our parents sent us off to the schools, so we began to lean toward believing and trusting in what they teaching and educating us also. And they start teaching us things like Christopher Columbus discovered America. They start teaching us things like algebra. You know, pi is 3.14. You got adults who still remember that, which means they should know that we don't use none of that in real life. But our brain memory is still taking up space, holding on to things that we learned back in high school that don't even apply to our lives. That's what they're doing. They're teaching us things that don't even apply to us, which is not the truth. Far away from the truth. What I learned from the Rodney King beating is this. They're going to use your criminal history background against you. They do it to cloudy up your truth. They do it to try to dilute, to water down the facts that are being presented. If we can use this criminal history to point this out and point that out, throw that mud on him, put that shade over top of him, maybe the people will not be quick to listen to his side of the story, what he's trying to say here today after we done displayed his criminal history. But that still didn't change the fact that it was 10 officers. At any given point, y'all could have just dove on him. You hear me? But instead, you continued to hit him with the billy clubs, not knowing that it was being recorded. Meaning, it's going to be that individual word against the officer's word. That individual word against the judge's word. That individual with the criminal background word against a public official whom you call on for help. The police, whom you look and trust and believe to deliver real news, not fake made up news, who you trust and believe to oversee our court cases, talking about the judge. You're going to believe their words over the criminal history words. So I came up with the Rodney King effect, because I know it's a group of people that don't like to believe things that they hear you say out your mouth, because they be groomed not to listen because of the lies that we received all the years coming up. So I came up with this Rodney King effect to allow you to be able to see it with your own eyes. So now that you see it and you know, you have to make a decision for yourself. And when they decided to make the decision of not guilty off in 1992, after the city of Los Angeles seen with their own eyes the injustice, you seen, got some reaction out of it.
Beaten and kicked by Los Angeles police officers. A beating that continued even as the man appeared to offer no resistance.
All of a sudden, police brutality had a human face, and it was being battered by Los Angeles cops on a neighborhood street in the San Fernando Valley. The face belonged to Rodney King, a 25-year-old high school dropout with a criminal record. He had been convicted of second-degree robbery, and he was out on parole.
That's why I'm sharing this Rodney King effect with you all, so y'all can look and see that I only record for my records because of what I've been through, because I know how things is. And this next video, you hear me? I know that I'm being picked on. I know that I'm being targeted. Ever since the not guilty verdict, and when I presented the evidence in trial and got found not guilty, it all started from the stop. They had to call 15 different police officers. Yeah, I know the sheriff said it was 8. Yeah, but he said he think not opening your door. Yeah, so we know he's not for sure. It was 15 police officers. It was 9 different police cars. They called the district attorney 3 times. So I know I'm on the radar.
I called Jody and talked to her and told her, I said, now I just want to let you know, prior to Bobby getting here and talking to him, he wouldn't get out for me, Kimball, and Rebecca. So we weren't going to try to get him out. We wanted more units here.
March the 12th, 2019, I was called to Lott, Texas, again, to go to court pertaining to failure to display driver's license. I explained to them I was found not guilty of that offense and that the failure to display driver's license fine or whatever, that was dismissed.
Looks like, come over here so I don't have to shout and tell everyone your business. Looks to me like you have judgment already. Entered in December, is that right? Is that correct?
I'm not sure.
Were you here?
I was able to go up to that matter.
Okay, so you were here. Judge Wright, you saw Judge Wright? The other judge?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and a judgment was entered. Is that correct?
What judgment was in it? I don't know.
Failure to display driver's license, a judgment for $100 in fine and $99.10 in court costs.
No, ma'am. I didn't enter none of that right there.
What do you mean you didn't enter it? Well, you don't enter judgments, the judge does.
Yeah, he made a mistake on that part.
How did he make a mistake on
Okay. My initial, the whole reason they was bothering me from the get-go.
No. How is this a mistake?
I'm trying to explain.
How is this a mistake?
I'm going to explain to you.
No.
I'm going to
You were
explain
in
to you.
court, paperwork was done. Do you want a trial? Is that what you're telling me? That you want evidence to be reviewed?
Yes. Yes,
Because
ma'am.
this is a judgment.
Well, they made a horrible mistake on that. That's not what that is, man.
This
Yeah.
is a judgment.
Okay.
He had a trial, Judge.
Oh,
That's
okay.
from a trial.
This is from a trial.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
it? Okay.
And what
You had
happened?
a trial.
I got found not guilty for speeding.
You're not gonna shout at me. Lower your voice.
When that judge said, "You're not gonna shout at me, lower your voice," my heart dropped. I immediately began to think about Emmett Till. All he done was whistled. You're accusing me of shouting? Now, I know my voice is pretty loud, but I know my voice was on that same level. But what she was doing was letting me know who was in control. When that judge said that, I kind of got a little afraid. I looked around, I noticed that there was no bailiffs. But I'm glad there was no bailiffs, because that's proof that I'm not dangerous. That's proof that I'm not hazardous. That's proof that I'm still respectful, because I continue to say yes, ma'am, even when being talked to in such manner. You know why? Because I'm not the bad person that they try to make me out to be. All I was trying to do was let that judge know that I was found not guilty of that offense. She wouldn't let me talk. I need an interpreter, someone who
No.
understands my language, the way I speak.
And here's the language that I understand. A jury found you guilty in December of 2018, and they assessed a $100 fine.
Well,
Jury found you guilty.
no,
Verdict form.
No, ma'am. I'm gonna tell you what happened, ma'am. Under Poisonous Tree Act, you familiar with that?
Stop.
Okay.
Did you have a trial on several charges?
And I got found not guilty for speeding.
Okay.
You hear me? So and then they took me to jail, man. I went to jail that night. That's not credit for nothing.
Here it is.
Cause I went to jail. That's it. That's for
Right.
speeding.
Right.
And I got found not guilty,
You
ma'am.
had your trial.
So
and
the
you were
time that I went to the time that
I'm done.
Thank you. Yeah. Y'all hear all the fireworks and everything? Yeah. Happy Independence Day. Yeah. True independence. Yeah, today my day, y'all. this is the day that I chose to go ahead on and let y'all have it. So if you hear that in the background, just know that, yeah. Okay, so here we go. If you don't have a lawyer, you're gonna lose. All right. So after this Lott case right here, I found myself being harassed to the point to where I knew I had to start recording this. Because I know that there are the group of people that have been lied to our entire lives. So when you come trying to tell them something, they don't want to hear it. Say, man, the police just got through beating up Rodney King. Yeah, but what was Rodney doing? You know how he is, loud. Probably got out all loud and they got on him. But when you seen the video with your own eyes, that made receiving the truth a little easier to grasp compared to you just hearing it from the mouth. When you seen it with your own eyes, that made believing it a little better. So that's what I decided to do. Film these encounters to allow the people to see that the convicted felon, that the guy with the criminal history, that the guy who graduated at the back of the line, you know, just because he's not smart, you know, just because I don't have a clean record, you know, don't mean that I'm not an honest person. Doesn't mean that I'm not a truthful person, you know. So being that I know that the first thing they want to do is try to discredit me, the best thing that I came up with was the Rodney King effect, to allow the people to be able to see it for themselves. Because I was trying to explain to this judge, I guess she didn't think that I knew about failure to display driver license. That is a secondary crime. If the police officers have a search warrant for the apartment 100, but they accidentally kick in the apartment 101, and when they kick in the apartment 101, they find a table full of illegal stuff. Well, the initial, meaning the beginning, go back to the beginning. At the beginning, you supposed to have been in apartment 100. You're in the apartment 101. So the beginning is wrong. So everything afterwards is no good. You can go and look up Fruit of the Poisonous Tree Act, which is number 3 on the list. Making evidence obtained illegally inadmissible. That means if you came up with all of this bad stuff after the beginning part was tainted, the beginning part is corrupt, everything afterwards is no good. Okay, well, if I was found not guilty for the speeding, which was the initial reason for you to even be bothering me, if I won that, the failure to display driver license is gone also. That is a secondary crime. But I know that you're trying to hold on to the end, thinking that I'm a Dan, thinking I'm one of those who don't know. But I've actually read that. I've tried to present it, but she wouldn't let me talk. That's why I felt the need to record it. I was the only person in the courtroom, no one else. They got them rigged. And if I was unable to bring the camera in there, then it's me, the convicted felon, word against them. Because after that court incident, April the 30th, I was leaving the Cefco in Marlin, Texas. See, let me explain something to you. When you leave out of your yard, your private property, you don't need a signal light when you're leaving your yard. Now, when you heading back home and you're on the public street and a car behind you, yes, you got a signal. That's a safety precaution because you want to let them know behind you that you're about to make the turn. So that's something totally different. But leaving out of your private property, you don't need a signal light.
This video right here is for all the veterans out there, you hear me? Look, This what we gotta come home and put up with right here? Shit.
Like we have done something. We ain't even did nothing. What the fuck is going on?
Let's go to verbal warning, okay? For the
Nah, homie.
Hold on, sir. I'm speaking. Okay, let's go to verbal warning for turn signal and not having your driver's license on you. Please carry that license.
I'm gonna be up there to file a report on you, though.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Bye.
Excuse me.
You can leave.
Could you bag back?
I'm good. You can leave now, sir.
Nah, I don't want you trying to say. I don't want you to say I'm trying to hurt you or nothing.
Oh no, sir. It's all recorded.
It's okay. So just
right.
There you go.
You have a safe night.
Yeah, that's harassment, man. Total harassment, man. Total harassment.
A lot of y'all who watched the 38.02 failure to identify viral video, y'all didn't know the night before I was pulled over for failing to signal while leaving private property. I got pulled over for nothing. He thought because he was giving me a warning that I was supposed to have been like, okay, happy, not knowing that I read. I know that you're violating. What you're doing is wrong. But for people who haven't read, who don't know, it will look like I'm just giving them a hard time because you haven't read. Okay, so I makes it home. I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, muster up to put on some clothes, put on me some shoes. That's why you see I still had on my pajamas. Make my way outside because I got to go to the backyard. Soon as I come out my house to walk down the driveway to go to the backyard, I'm off in my backyard. I look up, Officer Ortiz in my backyard asking me for my ID. See, you don't know that the night before I was pulled over for nothing. See, people look at the viral video, man, why you just didn't... Y'all don't know about the treatments that I've been receiving. I've just been being... That happened May the 1st. The month of June, I received this paperwork in the mail explaining about the court from March the 12th, telling that I didn't go along with the court authority and everything, but they didn't know that the court was recorded. So this the word against my word. When I have videos showing, I was just trying to tell her, ma'am, I'm found not guilty. But here goes some paperwork saying that I went against the court authority and now I got to go back to court July the 10th. I went to that courtroom. When I walked inside the courtroom, there was no one inside the court but me. Just like the last time. Only difference is, this go round, there was 2 police officers, Chief Hamilton and Officer Kimball, both who was at the original traffic stop February the 21st, 2018. And the judge ordered them to lock me up. Chief Hamilton immediately began to handcuff me. Chief Hamilton on my right arm, Officer Kimball on the left arm, as they escort me out of the courthouse. So they escort me out of the courthouse and they led me to Lot PD SUV. Officer Campbell opened up the back passenger door. Chief Hamilton pulled out his handcuff key and said, let me double lock your lock so they don't tighten up on you. Click up, as he placed me into the back seat. Chief Hamilton, he reached and grabbed the seatbelt and secured me in the back police car. I asked Chief Hamilton, I said, hey sir, is it okay if I get my phone from my significant other so upon release I can call for a ride home? Chief Hamilton agreed. He said, yeah, you can get the phone. So she went and got the phone, got my phone, brought my phone back, gave it to Chief Hamilton. She gave my phone to Chief Hamilton. Chief Hamilton then placed my phone in the right cargo pocket of my pants that I was wearing while I was handcuffed in the back seat. Okay, well, Chief Hamilton closed the door. They drove me from Lot Courthouse to Falls County Correctional Facility. They pulled into the Sally Port. Both officers exited the vehicle. They went to the back rear of the car, whatever they be doing back there, putting their gun or whatever they do back there. Okay, the rear passenger door opened. It was Chief Hamilton. He reached in, unlocked my seatbelt for me. Bow. They helped me get out of the police cruiser. They then walked me from the police cruiser inside of the booking, the intake processing area. So I went inside of the intake processing area. I went up off in there, you know what I'm saying? Chief Hamilton took his handcuffs off of me. I placed my hands up on the counter up there while I was leaning over there. Well, Thomas told me to take my, so I took my shoes off. I took my belt off. Chief Hamilton said, where do you want me to place him? Thomas said, oh, cell number 2 open. Chief Hamilton immediately began to taking me over to cell number 2. He took me in cell number 2, placed me inside cell number 2. I began to walk back and forth because I couldn't believe that I'm in jail. They have tricked me back to this courthouse. You hear me? This is the 3rd time that I've been incarcerated behind Lott, Texas. 3rd time. You tricked me to court. No one else had court. So you can say whatever you want to say, but you didn't know that that first court date was recorded. Now you saying that I'm locked up for contempt of court?
Well, I need an interpreter, someone who understands my language, the way I speak.
Here's the language that I understand. A jury found you guilty in December of 2018, and they assessed a $100 fine.
Well,
jury found you guilty. Verdict form.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So that's why when I took the picture, you see on the Facebook, when I uploaded it to Facebook, that's why the date say July the 10th, my court date, because they tricked me to court. Now this is after the viral video. They done tricked me to court just to lock me up for something that I didn't do. Why? Because it's gonna be my word against their word. All I was trying to do is show her that I was not guilty. See, when they called me to court back in March, I didn't know what I was going for because I had got found not guilty December the 12th, 2018. So when they called me to court in March 2019, I didn't know what it was pertaining to, so I didn't take any paperwork with me. That's why the secretary had to tell the judge, he went to trial on that. You the judge, you didn't know that? Well, why is she having to tell you again? You know the answers, but if we don't know, then you're gonna convict us. You're gonna treat us that way. That's why that chart show that number big the way that it is. That's why that chart is showing you from the year 2010, because that chart was made September 2010 and it ends September 2011. I was sent to TDC August 2011, making me a part of that number. That's why I use that chart to show you how accurate it is and why that number is that big, because I was a part of that big, huge number that you see of people who didn't know. Even if you're innocent, you're gonna get put in that group if you don't know. Even if you're innocent, if you can't afford a lawyer, you're gonna get put in that group right there. Why? Because there's some information that you don't know. You hear me? Now, after I got out of jail, I had to stay in there for 3 days. That's why you see my release date. What do that Facebook post say? See the date? See, I knew what I was doing. They thought I was just another regular plain one of you guys who they could just manhandle. They didn't know that I was a videographer. They didn't know that I do my homework and studying ever since I got this felony on my record in the city of Waco for nothing.
The Falls County Sheriff's Office tells Fox 44 the 43-year-old veteran was arrested for having prohibited items in a correctional facility, which is a 3rd-degree felony. The sheriff says he smuggled a cell phone into the jail during a previous arrest for contempt of court. He smuggled a cell phone into the jail during a previous arrest for contempt of court. Falls County Sheriff deputies, Marlin PD, and FBI agents were all located at the home where Bledsoe was arrested.
Gassed up, passed the baton. Google, educated him on the front lawn. Who that don't believe that this real? Fuck 'em and life go on. Who that didn't believe that I would achieve? I educated, then I showed them shit they used to violate right. I quoted it back and they didn't even know it. Open your eyes, we going back in time. They calling me danger for losing my mind. Defamation of character under my name, but you know I'm back on my grind. Black, intelligent, talented gift, domestic terrorist, sovereign citizen. Remind me of that Barstow plea and how the system dicked me. Contradiction, affliction, no proof they gon' switch it. If your ass misinformed education, you're missing. We both make videos and got the people listening. You need my back, I'm on a mission. Let's get it. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.